But just into our newsroom, we have the charges that are against Mayor Cantrell. We just got this from the federal court records. These are the counts. Wow, 9 counts against Mayor Latoya Cantrell. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, aiding and abetting, conspiracy to obstruct justice, obstruction of justice, aiding and abetting, false declaration before a grand jury. That indicates that she may have been called into a grand jury at some point, which we did not know that. Wire fraud, aiding and abetting is another one of the charges. Again, another count of wire fraud, aiding and abetting. Wire fraud, aiding and abetting counts 8 and 9. So 11, let's see, hold on. There's 18 charges here. 18 count 17 and 18.
Is it differentiating between Cantrell and Vappie?
It just says this is the case against Mayor Latoya Cantrell. So maybe these are the case. There are 18 charges in all. We're just getting us into here into the newsroom. So bear with us as we work our way through this.
Yeah. So what this signifies is there appear to be 18 counts.
Yes.
These are the ones
involving
charged
the mayor.
against the mayor.
Yeah, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counts against Mayor Latoya Cantrell included in this indictment. The rest, which would be the other 9, 10.
Because these are listed as double counts, that's 11.
You think that's 2?
11 separate counts against Mayor Latoya Cantrell.
11 separate counts.
11 separate counts. And it's a range that seems to include the wire fraud that was part of the first Jeffrey Vappie indictment.
Absolutely. Let's go out to David Hammer. He's got some more information straight out of federal court. So David, what are you reading there as you look at this indictment?
Well, Katie and Mike, this is case 24-165. That's the same case number as the Jeffrey Vappie indictment last year. That means that this is a superseding indictment, and as you guys were just saying, it adds all of these charges against Latoya Cantrell, but this is not a new separate scheme. Isn't that what that means, Matt?
Well, yes and no. It obviously relates to that case. They superseded in that case. It involves the same other defendant, an Officer Vappie. It looks like there's some additional charges. We still don't have a copy of it, but it looks like there's some additional charges. So probably the same scheme, but we need to see a copy of it.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to read the actual indictment before we can say for sure, but the fact that it's attached to the previous indictment means that it's not a totally separate scheme from what we already know has been charged against Jeffrey Vappie. It's an extension of that same case, correct?
Probably so, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we know for now. We're still trying to get a copy of the actual contents of the charges. Right now, we just have a breakdown of the charges, and we're going to try to read those as soon as possible. Back to you guys.
Yeah, David, you know, when I look at these charges, just the list of them, it looks like there are 2 counts of false declaration before a grand jury. So that begs the question, if Mayor Latoya Cantrell was actually called in and had to testify before the grand jury, or if she had to make some sort of statement. I mean, there are a lot of questions raised just by these charges on their face.
And consider the fact that we have the Randy Farrell indictment, in which the mayor could easily have been brought in to testify, as well as the Vappie indictment, in which she's clearly involved. We just don't know which of those cases she was brought to a grand jury to lead to 2 counts of false declaration before a grand jury.
Right. One of the things that, Vappie was charged with initially was lying to investigators, basically making false statements to federal investigators. And it was about whether or not the 2 of them were having an affair. The allegations are spelled out, in court records, including text messages that were exchanged between the 2 of them that were the basis of establishing that foundation that they were, in fact, having an extramarital affair because of things that had been surfacing, including this photo that's on your screen right now of the 2 of them having a very lengthy wine-filled dinner at the Tableau restaurant in the French Quarter. So that indictment against Jeffrey Vappie spelled out how federal prosecutors were establishing, at least to get probable cause to charge Vappie. They were trying to establish that there was that relationship between the mayor and Jeffrey Vappie. So that's all spelled out in court documents. And now with these new charges that we just found out about in federal court records, the mayor, Latoya Cantrell, charged with 2 counts of false declaration before the grand jury. That is significant, Mike.